You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys. Actually, we are doing this podcast live and in person. We got Brian Helfrich here with us. We're over at Aquascape in Chicagoland, Illinois. Brian, what's going on, brother?
Nothing. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Well, we got, this is real world experience right here. We got the excavators going on in the background, ponds being built, all kinds of crazy stuff. We're actually over here, like I said, at Aquascape. And Brian, give these guys some context. What are we doing here? The last 6 or 7 weeks, we've been building these like award-winning, in my eyes, ponds here in the back sandbox, right?
Yeah. We called it a sandbox in the beginning. It's kind of evolved into the sandbox studio.
Sandbox studio.
And Greg, the owner of Aquascape, Greg Whitstock, said months ago he wanted to build this thing. We all kind of looked at him like, you want to do what?
Yeah.
And he's put me in charge of kind of designing the space and figuring out what we could do. But the idea was to try to replicate a backyard inside of our warehouse.
Yeah.
So we built a facade of a house. I mean, It's a 2-story house.
It's crazy.
All right. It's a big house.
It's a real, like, back of a house.
Yeah, there's a sliding glass door and the dining room window and the family room window.
Seriously.
And the deck off the back. And then we're sitting in what you call the man cave, she shed, unished, whatever you want to call it.
This thing is cool too.
Yeah, and the purpose of the shed back here was to try to create a destination spot. So from the house, that would require a pathway, and for ponds, that means a bridge or something to come over the pond or something like that. And so
this outdoor living space is what you basically design for a customer or a client.
Correct.
And it's absolutely beautiful. So if you guys haven't watched the YouTube video, if it's already been out, maybe a couple weeks back at this point, but check out YouTube because if you guys don't know Greg Whitstock, he's the pond guy, right? He's the guy over in was it St. Charles?
St. Charles,
Illinois. Beautiful. This is Aqualand.
Yep.
Aqualand. So Aqualand, Aquascape, and that's the whole culture of building ponds. And Greg's been doing this for like 30 plus years, I would say by now.
Yeah.
And he's branded himself as the pond guy. And so if you ever see him like hanging out in these little like fisheries or like these little hangout spots like ponds and lakes with the turtles, like that's this guy Greg. And so he invited me over to just shoot some YouTube videos with him, hang out for a little bit. And this is week 7 of 7.
This is week 7 of 7. We were supposed to have an 8th contractor come out here, but he's up in Canada and couldn't make it. We have a 9th contractor out of Australia. These are all past artists of the year.
That's right. Okay, so explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so Greg wanted to build this sandbox and invite the past artists of the year. Every year for the last, 10 years, we choose an artist of the year from across the world.
Okay.
We got, a guy in Canada, we got a guy in Australia. The guy that's here now is from Missouri, Chris Sewing.
Yeah.
Last week we had a guy out from Seattle.
Okay.
We did a trout stream. And the idea is, what would these guys design in the exact same footprint?
Yes.
And what's so amazing, and all of your viewers can watch this, but if they go to Team Aquascape on YouTube, they can see how each artist is completely unique to themselves.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago we did a trout stream. Last week we did more of a residential pond, with some turf and everything else. A week before that, we had stuff hanging from the ceiling, these bowls cascading all over the place.
I saw some photos of that one. That was great. Well, this looks absolutely beautiful. This looks to me, and I know, I'm not a hardscaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lawn care guy, but I love hardscaping. I love landscaping, and I just like the peace and serenity of it,
Yep.
And I was talking to Chris, and I'm like, this looks like something out of like some beautiful Colorado, Utah home, like this mountainous home. It's got this huge, beautiful, I forget the lot size back here?
Yeah, so the two of us were talking last night, and it's a 30-foot deep by 40-foot wide lot. I mean, we could exaggerate it to be 35 by 45, but a pretty small space.
Sure.
And Chris's design, like all the other designs, are over the top. I mean, you would never guess you could build a mountain range in a 30 by 40-foot area, and it's a mountain range.
It's literally crazy awesome seeing you guys put this stuff together and in 7 days.
Yeah.
Or 6 days.
No, we started Monday.
Oh my God, it's only 4 days.
We started Monday at 10:30.
So this is 3.5 days.
We'll be done tonight.
Yep. Everybody's been burning the midnight oil, and everybody's looking a little tired at this point.
Yeah,
3 days in. But Greg's supplying everybody with food and tacos and pizza, so it's not been too bad, right?
Well, we're kind of all like at our last breath because we've been doing it for 7 weeks straight, and the idea is, we start Monday right around 10 o'clock, after we film and do some intros type stuff.
Yep.
We break ground right around 10. We work till Thursday night, whatever we need to.
Yeah.
And Friday we do the reveal, and then Saturday we tear it all down.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Start over again.
And this is week 7, and because of the quarantine and all the COVID stuff, Canada had to do quarantine for a couple weeks. Australia would have had to. So unfortunately, they can't make it in, just logistically and time-wise, and economically wise, I'm sure for those guys. But I think you guys are going to do some other special stuff. Greg was saying maybe next week, which would be cool, and we'll see where it goes. So
yeah, we were supposed to do our design next week. We're not going to get the opportunity to do that because we have to film so many other videos. So we're going to do a lot more DIY type videos.
Oh, cool.
Showing people how to do maybe more replicatable stuff that they can do in their backyard.
Sure.
There's not too many homeowners or too many new guys getting into this.
Yeah.
They're going to try to create mountain ranges.
Absolutely. This is crazy cool. Let's do this really quick. We got to pay the bills around here, Brian. So if I'm not expecting that you listen to the show regularly, but we do like to hear from our show sponsors and our show announcements.
Of course.
So we're going to do a quick commercial break here. We're going to kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, to just bring you guys the show updates, the highlights, and all the latest and greatest around town here. And we'll come on right on back.
Time now for a Fullerton Unfiltered Rewind.
You want to make some money at, do something that people don't want to do, like cleaning their house or stuff like that. So I went mowing the lawn.
Okay.
So people don't want to do that, right? So start that up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it started.
Okay.
I knew nothing about it. So I decided, so I Googled it, right?
Okay.
Googled lawn mowing, and I came to some forum, and I was like, and then one guy had posted like, well, here's a video of such and such doing it. So I clicked on that, and the next thing you know, I'm subscribed to about 150 of these lawn care dudes. I'm watching videos 8 hours a day, learning how to do this business over the course of the winter. And at the same time, I started making my own videos.
You can catch up on previous episodes you may have missed or need to hear again at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com. Ballard Innovative Products is a full line of gear for the lawn and landscape professional. From mower gear, safety gear, trailer racks, equipment securement, equipment servicing tools, aerators, mower blades, X-blades, aluminum baggers, and much more to make you efficient, effective, safe, and profitable in the field. Check out Ballard-Inc.com to help dominate and elevate your business. Ballard Innovative Products. With over 20 years of selling accessories and 30 years in the business, we're sure that we've got something you can't live without. We appreciate the support and look forward to serving you this season. Stay safe and keep grinding, friends. And don't forget to use Brian's 10 to save 10% at Ballard-Inc.com.
All right, guys, and we're back, and it was funny because Brian's like, so we got about a 5-minute break here? I said, no, Mr. Marty, Mr. Producer, he's the producer for the show. He spins it on the ones and twos in post, and he gets to add all the fun commercials, and he's great. He brings you guys the show Monday, Wednesday, Friday without fail, and today's a little bit different kind of an episode. Like I said, we're over here in Aquascape, over in Aqualand. This is in St. Charles, Illinois, and Greg Woodstock, the pond guy, brought me out, a couple other guys as well over the last few weeks, and the idea here that Greg has, something that's really unique, Brian, that I've not seen replicated or duplicated anywhere else, is Greg, for the last few years, has always had a sandbox in his back warehouse. And the idea is, if you want to become an Aquascape, certified Aquascape contractor, if you want to learn about installing ponds, there's a sandbox literally in the back area that's 30 feet by 30 feet, whatever it was, and you can build pondless water features, waterfalls, all this different stuff, and actually get your feet wet here at Aquascape, learning versus just out of a textbook, right? Or watching YouTube videos. And then, so where did this brilliant idea come in together to 10X it and then build a home, a facade, this she shed? Like, I mean, social media, COVID, this last 12, 18 months, it's been crazy for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So where did this whole idea come from?
Well, like you said, so we had a sandbox before. It was a much smaller footprint.
Yeah.
It was closer
Here,
to
bring this up just a little bit.
It was closer to a 20 by 20.
There you go, bud.
20 by 20 sandbox.
Yeah.
And we did small little fountain type features.
Okay.
This is all pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we wanted to do that again. It allowed people to get hands-on training in the winter. And the winter here in Chicago is brutal, so we can't do a whole lot outside. So we said, let's bring the outside inside. Well, we have
that back at home, by the way. Inside, right? Outside dining.
Yeah.
Where you go on the little igloo.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's so funny.
Curveball. So you guys decided to build this bigger sandbox.
So we decided to build this bigger sandbox with the idea of training, but COVID said no, but we could bring in smaller groups. So we bring in these artists of the year, but the theme is kind of the same, or the idea behind it is the same: training. Right. So not only does the artist of the year get another project under his belt, he gets to design something that maybe a customer would not have the courage to pull off in their backyard. So he can use it for advertising and marketing, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
He can train his new guys. We can train some of our new guys, so they get a huge crash course with like some of the best in the world.
Absolutely.
Doing this stuff.
Well, and it's cool because for some of you guys listening in, and maybe you're new to Aquascape, maybe you don't know everything about Greg Woodstock. I mean, here's the thing: they have 4 or 5 YouTube channels. Greg's on Instagram. Just tons of access to information. There's Aquascape University where you can literally learn how to install ponds. It's crazy, and there's so many guys that that listen in, Brian. They're lawn care guys. They $35, $40, $50 a cut. And I know Greg's one of his hardcore pushes is, hey, like, why mow 200 lawns a week when you can install 5 water features per week or whatever, right? And there's a lot of merit to that. And that's why I like that landscaping, and I love doing mulch and the aerations, because there's just more money in it than mowing. For me, I like the pay the bill, the consistent money. Yeah. But I won't deny that there's more money in landscaping. I think we all can agree to that. One thing that I really like about what you guys are doing here again is that Aquascape isn't just a, hey, we sell you ponds or pond solutions, right? Or parts or service. It's crazy because Greg actually built a pond business for 10, 20, 30 years, and it's still going today. It's part of Aquascape.
Yeah, so that's part of it's one of my responsibilities, running our construction and maintenance division. Yeah. And the whole idea of us having a construction and maintenance division has nothing to do with the income we're bringing in with the crazy designs and builds we do. Yeah. It's to show and inspire new contractors the potential of what they can do. Absolutely. So every single day we're doing exactly what new guys would be doing or veterans would be doing.
That's crazy.
So we're constantly field testing our products. We're coming up with new products. We're coming up with more efficient ways to do it. We're coming up with new designs. We're coming up with new techniques.
Which is really unique. Yeah. Because actually I was talking about this to Greg earlier, and he said you and Chris, and you guys are like the tag team duo. He was saying if Chris or Brian say, hey, like we need something, some different products, or some different tool, or some different, doodad, right? Yep. That you guys can take that right over to R&D. R&D can, whip up some stuff in the next couple of days and weeks. Yep. Give you the tools to make installing ponds that much easier. Yeah. What does Greg always say? Like 20 products, 20 steps?
20 products, 20 steps. So when I started with Greg back in 1995, we were basically just building ponds. In fact, when I started, there was 5 people working for the company. No kidding. It was myself, another guy, Ed Ballou, the pond professor.
Is that Ed? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
Ed Ballou, the pond professor, Greg, a couple of laborers, and we would meet at his house every morning. He lived in this little 900 square foot home. Yeah. We worked out of his garage, and we'd go build ponds. Well, a light bulb goes off in the guy's head and says, listen, the future of this company is not on building ponds. It's teaching the rest of the world on how to do this. Sure. And so at that point, we started traveling the country teaching people how to do this, and we would do these build a pond days. Yeah. And the easiest way to kind of envision them is think of like an old-fashioned barn raising. Oh, right. So all these guys would come together. Come into town. We'd kind of lead them. Yeah. We travel. We traveled the whole country, to all these places. Right. And Greg was so sick of hearing the buts, and it would be, I understand you can do it in your area in a day, but in my area, we have harder digging conditions. But in my area, we can't get people to come to work to time. But in my area, we don't have rock like you guys have. Right. So they would send myself and Ed out to teach these guys in areas that we've never worked in before, and we'd build these one-day ponds. Yeah. And if you can build a pond in a day, an 11 by 16 and an 11 by 11 foot pond in a day, for 10 grand, right? Why would you cut lawns anymore? Yeah, unless you enjoy cutting lawns. But
dude, I trust me, I hear it all the time from Greg and a couple other guys, and and I like both. I mean, me personally, I love cash flow, you know, so I don't have to continuously sell. And I did a whole nother video on this just last week, talking about recurring revenue versus selling revenue and landscaping, and both make so much sense. And I see a lot of guys graduate from lawn care to hardscaping, landscaping, from lawn care to fertilizer, turf treatment. So it's kind of like that fork in the road. So and again, if you guys watch my content and you can graduate from just mowing lawns all day to doing some landscaping, awesome. Actually, that's Chris Sewing over here. That was his story. He, in 2001 or 2002, he said, he came over to Aquascape, got to lay the land, and he's been doing pretty nice, like high-end residential construction.
Some of the best in the world.
Yeah, for the last 18 to 20 years almost. Yeah. Which is just crazy. So, well, let me ask you this. I want to go full circle to what you just said. a minute ago. So your roles here, being one of the first couple people working with Aquascape, you do construction, design, architecture, sales. So what's your role day to day for these guys outside of this last 7 or 8 week, hell week, if you will?
So I oversee our retail store. We have a pretty large retail store.
Is that what I see up front?
Yeah.
Okay.
We sell the fish and the plants and all the products to DIYers. Homeowner type solutions. My pump went out, my light went out, that kind of stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
I oversee the maintenance division.
Yeah.
Which I want to circle back to in a second. And then do all the design estimating and the construction side.
So the Aquascape company that still builds ponds and still service other stuff, you and Chris go out there and a couple other guys, I'm sure, and you guys still build these things.
Build it every day.
That's awesome, man. 5
days a week.
That's awesome. Go back to the maintenance side.
Yeah, so the maintenance side, I think it's actually exciting because a lot of these guys, like if you're getting new into this, you might not want to go and do a pond install, but the pond maintenance side, talk about the reoccurring revenue.
Absolutely.
Every time we put a pond in, it's a customer for life. So now you get the maintenance of that pond. You get the spring cleanup, you get the fall shutdown, you get the weekly or bi-weekly or bi-monthly maintenance and all
filters,
that kind of stuff.
All of it.
Eventually, that pond's going to need a facelift. You get that sale. So last year, our maintenance division, which consists of 4 guys, did a little over $1 million.
Wow.
Right? Which is pretty good money for 4 guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
What's nice about the pond industry is you can get that reoccurring revenue, right? That consistent income off of the maintenance side, but the maintenance will eventually get you more construction. Yeah. So it's a great way for people to kind of dip their toes into it.
Well, and not only that, one of the, I'd say like a selling point, because like what I mean is for you guys listening in as a selling point to your customers is that if you do put in an outdoor living space or an outdoor patio, and you do want to add a pondless water feature, what's the big standing rocks, the
basalt columns?
Basalt columns. I love those. Yeah. Everybody's got their product. Greg's like, you're into those the most? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, there's people, what about the urns or whatever? I go, urns are cool. I like the basalt, columns. And he's like, awesome, man. But if you're doing landscaping and you are already going to do some $20,000 outdoor patio, see if you can upsell a pond for $3,000-$4,000.
Well, and like the basalt columns or the urn or the spheres or the spillway bowls. These are really quick, easy installs. Yeah. The infrastructure is a 4-foot by 4-foot hole, about 16 inches deep. Yep. So if you could picture digging that, which is about the size of a root ball for a tree. Yeah. Right? Yeah. If you can picture digging that and then dropping these basalt columns on top or the urn or the sphere, your 2 guys can install that in about 2.5 to 3.5 hours, depending on digging conditions. Yeah. And it sells for somewhere around $3,000 to $3,500.
And you don't need an excavator. You don't need a Toro Dingo.
You don't need a big truck. Yeah. Your Ford F-150 can bring everything you need. Yeah. Right in the back. It's a half-day install. Yeah. And it's a quick add-on to an outdoor living space. Yes. Or any of your past customers. Absolutely. So a great way to kind of ease your way into it, rather than maybe diving into a big ecosystem pond right away, or diving into a big giant waterfall. Right.
Or building this $250,000 thing that Chris is doing. Which is awesome. Well, if you guys haven't seen the YouTube video that we did, I really would encourage you guys to go check out. We did 1 or 2 videos here on the whole build process, and then also 1 or 2 videos with Greg, just kind of sharing about hiring folks, building systems, empowering people. And Greg's got it going on. He's a great guy, and he's just a really smart dude. And I said to Greg, I said, hey, I need to get a couple of you guys on the show, man. Like, you guys have such a great operation here. He goes, go with Brian immediately. I said, all right, fair enough. So we'll start with Brian. I said, is he the best? He goes, he knows how to talk to people. I go, what about Chris? He goes, go with Brian.
That's right. No, Chris is pretty talented too.
Chris is a great dude. He actually, I remember Chris from 3 years ago when I came here. Yeah. And we did a couple videos, and we were just hanging out. And I actually didn't know Greg from Adam. Stanley Dirt Monkey introduced me, and we were in the classroom, the whole learning center there. And when we came here, they're like, well, you can learn about how to install them. You can learn accounting, financing, and HR, right? Yeah. And I was like, well, I don't really care about this, and this, but I love to just get dirty. Yeah. Like, I want to go in the sandbox. I think I hung out with you and Chris for 2 days, maybe. Yeah. And all we did was the day 1, I think, was the pondless stuff. And then day 2, or vice versa, was the pond feature. It was so cool. I've never seen anything like it. So,
well, design, estimating, and managing is all fun and all, but there's nothing better than getting dirty and getting back out there.
You're going out there to Arizona next week?
I go to Texas. Saturday. We're building a pond for a homeowner out there with another different type of artist. His name's Chris Miller. Okay. He is a stonemason of sorts. He built this Ford F-150 truck out of stone, and like a 57 Ford pickup or something. And
you were showing me photos.
Yeah, we're going to do a waterfall and stream and stuff around it. And
so cool.
And then from there, we fly out to Arizona, do some leadership training, and then we'll be back, and then we're going to hit the sandbox hopefully one last time, and then our season should be starting.
Well, I was joking with Greg. I said, when you're done with this she shed, I said, call me. Like, I'll get a crane. I'll take this thing right home. I said,
beautiful. It's beautiful.
He was telling me how much he paid for the fascia thing there, and he goes, yeah, but they threw it in the shed for free. I go, that's because that thing was $1 million.
Yeah.
He goes,
throw this in for free.
That's what I said. I go, Greg, I said, really, you bought the shed and they gave you the house for free. He goes, he like looks at me. He goes, no. I go, right, bud.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Let me ask you this: for these guys that don't know the whole like aquascape lifestyle and just what is like the allure to people selling ponds? Is it what it is to me is the outdoor experience? You know, like running water, moving water, cascading water. It's just peaceful. It's relaxing.
Well, simplify it this way: like, so when you go on vacation, what's usually the overarching landscape like when you go on vacation?
Tropical, by a beach.
By a beach,
something.
water, it's a lake, it's pool, a river, it's a pool. It's almost always water inspired.
Yes.
And so if you can put that in your backyard, you can create a vacation spot pretty quick in your backyard.
Absolutely.
And I'm seeing more and more, especially over the last like 7-8 years, people investing an enormous amount of money into their outdoor living space.
Yes.
And now with COVID and so many people proving that you can work from home and having to be at home,
100%.
They're spending that money in their backyard.
Absolutely.
Can't go on vacation or anything else. And there's something words can't describe the sound of that running waterfall,
yes.
right? The watching the birds in the spring come in and bathe in the stream.
It's happiness, man.
Yeah,
it's mental health. I mean, like Liz and I, my wife Liz, you'll get to meet her one day. She's like my best friend and like love of my life, right? Well, we're building our custom home here July, and then it'll wrap up next year July. And the goal is to put in a pool and a hot tub and the whole deal. Because we want to entertain. We're hosting type people. We just YouTube aside, we've always been like that.
Yeah.
Well, we just want like that outdoor living space where when I get done at 5 or 6 o'clock with all the guys, we get home with the crew. Hey guys, go jump in the pool. Hey guys, go hit the hot tub. Like, go ride the four-wheeler, do something fun. We just love to host and entertain. And I think that's why Aquascape is such a great extension of those outdoor living spaces.
100%. I've got 3 little kids, and I've got a pretty nice pond at home.
Yeah.
Every meal, in the summer,
outdoors,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Amen.
Are eaten outdoors by the pond.
Yeah.
The kids swim in the pond. They put their snorkel stuff on. They get in there and they check out all the fish.
Yeah.
They're not on their devices.
Yep.
As nearly as much in the summer.
Sure.
As they can be outside.
Amen.
The pond is designed to look at from inside the house. So even in the winter, you get these ice castle formations, and you're still watching the cardinals come in.
I love it.
There's something great about it. Every morning, my routine in the summer is I'm up at 5:30.
Yep.
I got my cup of coffee out by the pond.
The patio.
I call Chris, make sure everything's in line for the day.
Yep.
Head off to out here by 6:30. Then as soon as I get home,
back out there.
I don't even go to the house. I go right to the backyard and finish up the day by the pond. And the kids come out and we hang out and dinner. And
you can't beat that. That's living the dream for sure. And it's really, really cool just to see what Greg's put together, what you and Chris do all the time. I know Greg appreciates you guys more than you know. And you guys are a great unit. You guys are a great team. And I think what you guys have going on here is really special.
Yeah, it's a super special place. I started back in 95. Greg started the business in 91.
Yeah.
He was young. I was younger.
Yeah.
And we kind of grew up in this together.
Absolutely.
He started the business when he was, a teenager too. And
sure.
And it's kind of been a wild ride from my first day to where it is now.
Absolutely. Well, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to shut it down right here because we got a lot of noise in the background that we appreciate you guys working through with us. Hopefully, it just kind of gets bled out with some of your lawnmowers or equipment that you guys have got going on. They're literally building this beautiful outdoor pond and living space as we speak. And so if you haven't checked the final YouTube video, by the time this podcast comes out, that video's probably been out for about 2 weeks. Check it out. It's really, really cool to see what these guys are doing here. Little plug for Aquascape University. If you want to go down the Aquascape rabbit hole, reach out to these guys, check out their website, and then also Aquascape University is where you can get literally educated on installing ponds, doing the whole deal. And then that can lead to the roadway or the pathway to becoming a certified Aquascape contractor and get to meet Brian, get to meet Chris and Greg and this whole family of pond installers. It's really, really cool.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Brian, we super appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I know you're itching to get back out there. You got about 7 or 8 hours left for today, and then when's the big reveal? Is that tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning.
Man, so we got to get moving.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Well, we'll shut
it
down right here. Thanks so much for taking time to be on the show. And guys, if you have not listened to the episode we did this same time last year with Greg Woodstock, we'll try to plug that episode in the description. I got to interview Greg, the owner of Aquascape, for about 45 minutes, and he's an animal. He's a serial entrepreneur through and through, and it was just a really fun, relatable conversation about helping you guys grow more successful businesses. And of course, his background is in ponds. So let's do this. We'll button it up right here, and we'll kick it back over to Marty, Mr. Producer, and we'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Both episodes 52 and 172 are with Greg Woodstock, and after hearing all of these pondcasts, hey, can that be a new word? Podcast about ponds or pondcast? I definitely want a pond for my backyard, and at the time of putting together the show, I may actually have enough Dogecoin to buy one. I forgot that I had bought a bunch of crypto back in 2017, and as of today, I can afford a pond. Maybe you've had success in digital assets lately, or you saw your stimulus check arrive in your account. If you have the money, take a serious look at nabbing the whole ball of wax over at LaunchpreneurAcademy.com. The promotion ends April 30th, and here's Brian with everything you need to know.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Brian here. Welcome to LaunchpreneurAcademy.com. I want to talk to you a little bit about the promotion that we have going on with the whole ball of wax and the Hardscape Academy for this limited time offer. Now, before we jump down the rabbit hole and tell you guys a little bit more about what's included in the Hardscape Academy and Launchpreneur Academy promotion, I wanted to just take a little trip down memory lane and maybe add a little bit more context to why this promotion is so exciting and why I can't wait to get it into as many people's hands as possible. You see, my first 10 years in business were a lot of try, fail, adjust. It wasn't the most illustrious start in business, and to be honest with you, we didn't make as much money as we could have, as we should have. There was a lot of unknowns, and frankly, we were just making stuff up. We didn't have any coaches, any mentors. We didn't have a system to help us grow. It was a lot of heartache and blood, sweat, and tears. Well, about 4 or 5 years ago, we put ourselves out there on the internet. We started a YouTube channel. We had the lawn care community help us, and then we also poured back into the lawn care community to help people grow a more successful lawn and landscape business. On YouTube, we have over 750 videos, and that's a lot of content out there to grow a more successful business. But at the same point, it's a lot of content to sift through. So what we did is about 2 years ago, we created LaunchpreneurAcademy.com. So here's what we're going to do. For just a limited time offer, we're going to not only bundle the whole ball of wax, which is a $999 training program that's valued at $2,500, we're going to also include the how to install paver patios and how to install retaining walls training program, which is a $200 value included in the whole ball of wax purchase. But wait, there's more, of course. So here's what we're also going to give you guys access to, part of this limited time promotion. Not only the Hardscape Academy how to install paver patios and retaining walls programs, which is $200, but we're going to include the live event webinar replay that Liz and myself did with Caleb and Brittany Allman about goal setting and vision casting and how to have a very organized year and how to execute and get the most out of your guys' crews, your guys' company, and the year. How exciting is that? Here's what else I want to throw into the bundle to help make this just a little bit more valuable and sweeten the deal that much more. And so what I want to personally do is include one more free coaching call, which is a $179 value with yours truly. Okay, so when you buy the whole ball of wax, you already get included one 1-hour coaching call where we can talk anything you want: social media, marketing, business, equipment, how to get customers, how to work with your CPA, your bookkeeper, you name it. But then what I've also noticed is that a lot of you guys have questions 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months later, and you have more questions that you want to get answered. Well, let's include one more 1-hour coaching call into this fantastic bundle. Guys, if you added the whole promotion together, everything that's a la carte from LaunchpreneurAcademy.com, it's over $2,500. And if you had the coaching call and the 2 other resources from the Hardscape Academy and the live webinar replay, you're talking just under $3,000 in training, education, meat and potatoes, how to grow a more successful business, and how to expand into hardscaping and landscaping. How cool is that? Guys, here's the last thing I'll say sincerely. Imagine if you didn't take advantage of this program, you didn't get access to everything in the whole ball of wax and what the Hardscape Academy offers. Imagine you had to spend your next 10 years failing and adjusting. What is it worth to you to invest $9.99 in a whole ball of wax training bundle, get everything also available from the Hardscape Academy, and be able to have a 10-year head start on the competition or your future self if you did not jump on this opportunity? We don't want to see you guys struggle. We don't want to see you guys have to reinvent the wheel. It's all right here at your fingertips. And guys, we are so excited about making this the best year ever to help you guys grow a more successful business.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.